visual learning. So point D is in quadrant 4. So we have to remember our quadrants. So remember, in order to remember your quadrants, we can remember C for coordinate plane. So here's our little generic coordinate plane. Coordinate plane starts with the letter C. So this is going to be quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So remember, you can remember the quadrants by creating a letter C starting at the top. So this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. So point D is in quadrant 4. So quadrant 4 is down here. So point D is going to be down here somewhere. And is the same distance from point B as point A. The same distance from point B as point A. So that means it's going to be the same space away from the x-axis. So if it's the same distance from point B as point A, that means the point B and point D are going to be the same distance away from the x-axis. And if the points are the same distance away from the x-axis, they have the same x-coordinate, they both show a reflection across the x-axis. So this is a reflection. Point D is a reflection of point A across the x-axis. So since point A and point D are both the same distance away from the x-axis, they're showing a reflection. So so that means the x-coordinate, if we're showing reflection across the x-axis, the x-coordinate is going to stay the same and the y-coordinate is going to become the opposite. So if we want the point B, if we want the order pair for point B, we will first have to figure out, okay, if we start at the origin 0, 0, we had to move to the right the same number of units we had to move to the right to get to point A. So point A and point B are going to have the same exact x-coordinate because we had to move to the right the same number of units. So since the x-coordinate for A is 5, the x-coordinate for B is 5. And since you do not move up or down along the y-axis, the y-coordinate is going to be 0. So these are the coordinates for point B. So we still don't have enough information to identify what point N is. But since point A and point B are the same distance as point D and point B, we can conclude that reflection across the x-axis, the x-coordinate is going to stay the same. So my x-coordinate for point A is 5, and we don't know N, what N is. So the x-coordinate is going to stay the same. Notice that my x-coordinates are still the same, 5, because we have to move to the right the same number of units. And then if it's showing reflection across the x-axis, the y-coordinate is going to become the opposite. So if point A y-coordinate is N, point D y-coordinate is going to be the opposite of N. And that will be the ordered pair. Now, if this was an 8, which we don't have enough information to conclude that, this ordered pair would be -8 because they're the same distance from the x-axis. Now, if this point N for point A was 5, then that means for point D, the point will be the opposite of 5. If N equals 3, that means that point A will be 5, 3, and point N will be the opposite of N, which is -3. So since we don't have enough information to conclude what the ordered pair for the y-coordinate is, we would just say it's the opposite of N. So this is the answer that you need.